Baghdad, Iraq, 2006, 3 a.m. A Delta Force assault team stacks outside a nondescript apartment building in western Ramadi. The target is a senior al-Qaeda operative responsible for coordinating IED attacks that have killed 17 American soldiers in the past month. The door goes down. The team flows through the building like water through cracks, room by room, floor by floor. And when they reach the third-floor bedroom, they find exactly what they came for. The target. Exactly where the intelligence said he would be. Exactly at the time they said he would be there. The raid takes 11 minutes. 0 casualties. 1 high-value target in custody. But here's the question nobody asks. How did they know? How did Delta Force know which apartment, which floor, which room, which hour? The target moved constantly. He used burner phones. He trusted almost no one. The answer is a unit whose name changes every few years, specifically so you never hear about it. Gray Fox, Centra Spike, Task Force Orange, Torn Victor, the activity. Today it is called the Intelligence Support Activity, and it might be the most powerful unit in the United States military that almost nobody knows exists. Most people who watch videos about special operations know about Delta Force. They know about DevGru. They might even know about the CIA's Special Activities Division. But ask them about ISA, and you get blank stares. This is not an accident. ISA was designed to be invisible. It has been officially disavowed multiple times throughout its existence. The unit has changed code names at least 9 times since its founding, and only a handful of former operators have ever spoken publicly about it, all under heavy redaction. But here is what those operators have revealed. Delta Force is the weapon. DevGru is the weapon. ISA is the reason those weapons hit their targets. Without the activity, America's most elite operators are pointing guns into the dark. The Intelligence Support Activity was born from failure. April 24th, 1980. Operation Eagle Claw. The mission to rescue 52 American hostages from the U.S. Embassy in Tehran. You probably know how it ended. 8 American servicemen dead at Desert One, a helicopter collision, a sandstorm, a mission aborted in chaos. But here is what most people miss about Eagle Claw. The mission was compromised before it ever launched. American intelligence had almost no reliable information about the situation inside the embassy. The CIA's networks in Iran had been gutted by the revolution. The military was being asked to execute a surgical hostage rescue in a city where they could not even confirm which rooms the hostages were being held in. Colonel Jerry King, a Delta Force officer who helped plan Eagle Claw, understood the problem. American Special Operations had developed world-class assault capabilities. But the intelligence to support those capabilities came from the CIA. And the CIA's intelligence was often too slow, too filtered, and too disconnected from tactical needs. King proposed something radical, a dedicated military intelligence unit that would answer only to JSOC, not to the CIA, not to the Defense Intelligence Agency, not to anyone who might delay or water down the intelligence that operators needed in real time. In 1981, the Intelligence Support Activity was born. ISA operates in 2 domains that most people never see. The first is human intelligence. ISA operators deploy undercover, often years before any military operation is planned. They blend into foreign cities under civilian identities. They build relationships. They recruit sources. They map networks. And when the time comes for Delta or DEVGRU to kick down a door, ISA has already told them what is behind it. The second is SIGINT, Signals Intelligence. ISA runs some of the most advanced electronic surveillance operations in the world. Phone intercepts, radio monitoring, network penetration. If a target makes a call, ISA can find him. These 2 capabilities work together. An ISA human operator might recruit a source inside a terrorist network. That source provides a phone number. ISA's SIGINT teams track the phone. Delta gets coordinates. The raid happens. This is the cycle that General Stanley McChrystal called F3EAD. Find, fix, finish, exploit, analyze, disseminate. And ISA is the engine that makes that cycle turn faster than any enemy can adapt. One of ISA's most remarkable operations happened years before the War on Terror even began. Colombia. 1989. The Medellin cartel was at the height of its power. Pablo Escobar had declared war on the Colombian government. Car bombs were exploding in Bogotá. Judges and politicians were being assassinated. The Colombian government asked the United States for help, and the U.S. sent a team from ISA operating under the code name Centra Spike. Centra Spike's mission was simple: find Pablo Escobar. Escobar was paranoid. He never stayed in one location more than a few hours. He used radio phones instead of landlines because he believed they were harder to trace. He was wrong. Centra Spike deployed aircraft packed with classified signals, intercept equipment. Every time Escobar made a call, they narrowed his location. At first, they could pinpoint him to within a city, then a neighborhood, then a block. By 1993, Centra Spike was feeding real-time intelligence to Colombian search block forces, and on December 2, 1993, Pablo Escobar was located and killed during a rooftop shootout. The man who had evaded hundreds of Colombian police and soldiers for years was found by a handful of American intelligence operators who never fired a shot. That is what ISA does. Somalia, 1993. You know the story of Black Hawk Down. What you might not know is that ISA's Centra Spike was providing signals intelligence for Task Force Ranger throughout the operation. They were tracking the phones and radios of Mohammed Farah Aidid's lieutenants. When Delta and the Rangers launched their raid into Mogadishu, ISA had provided the intelligence that identified the target location. Afghanistan, 2001. Before the first American conventional forces arrived, ISA's Gray Fox teams were already on the ground. They were building human networks. They were establishing communications intercept positions. They were preparing the battlefield for the invasion that would follow. Iraq, 2003 to 2011. This is where ISA's capabilities reached their peak. General McChrystal's JSOC ran a nightly raid tempo that Al-Qaeda in Iraq could not match. Some nights, JSOC conducted a dozen simultaneous operations across the country. That tempo was only possible because ISA was feeding intelligence faster than the enemy could move. Abu Musab al-Zarqawi, the leader of Al-Qaeda in Iraq, was located through a combination of ISA HUMINT sources and SIGINT intercepts. When an F-16 dropped two 500-pound bombs on his safe house in June 2006, ISA had found him. Now, here is the argument that might make you uncomfortable. Delta Force is one of the most capable assault units on the planet. Their selection is brutal. Their training is relentless. Their operators can hit a target in the dark, in a sandstorm, in the middle of a hostile city. But without intelligence, Delta raids empty buildings. ISA provides the intelligence. ISA operators deploy into denied areas, alone, undercover, without military backup. They spend months or years building networks that produce a single piece of actionable intelligence. And when that intelligence leads to a successful raid, nobody knows their names. The human networks that ISA builds take years to establish. If an ISA operator is compromised, the network dies with them. It cannot be rebuilt quickly. This is why ISA may be more powerful than Delta Force itself. Delta can train new operators. ISA cannot rebuild a burned intelligence network. The British understood this. In 2005, they created the Special Reconnaissance Regiment specifically to copy ISA's model. The SRR provides the same human and surveillance capabilities to British special operations that ISA provides to JSOC. If you have made it this far, you are not a casual viewer. You want to understand how these operations actually work. Subscribe for more breakdowns like this one. I cover the units and operations that most channels never touch. So why have you never heard of ISA? Because they designed it that way. ISA has changed code names at least 9 times. Gray Fox, Centra Spike, Task Force Orange, Torn Victor, The Activity, and probably names we do not know yet. Every time journalists or congressional investigators start asking questions about one name, the unit changes to another. The trail goes cold. Only a handful of former ISA operators have ever spoken publicly. Their accounts are heavily redacted. They never reveal current capabilities or ongoing operations. ISA has been officially disavowed multiple times by the Department of Defense. When asked about the unit, Pentagon spokespeople have denied it exists. And yet, the intelligence keeps flowing. The raids keep hitting their targets. The most dangerous men in the world keep dying in the middle of the night, in locations they thought were secret. Delta Force is the fist that everyone fears. The intelligence support activity is the eye that makes sure that fist never misses. and almost nobody knows they exist. That is exactly how they want it.